What is up, guys? Pie Muffin here, and from the title, I'm sure you guys can guess what this video is about. It's going to be kind of a ramble. I'm not really scripting this any sort of way. We're just going to kind of talk about what this really means for, obviously, I'm sure everyone knows by now, it's been a day, that Dragon Ball Super will be ending. I will leave a link to the article that talks about that in the description below. But, basically, long story short, what's going on here is a different anime will be taking the time slot. I believe it's called Kitaro, is going to be taking the time slot of Dragon Ball Super, and Dragon Ball Super is going to be stopping indefinitely. We're obviously going to have to see how these last. On March 25th will be the last episode of Dragon Ball Super. So I'm filming this on the 19th of January, so we have one more day until Dragon Ball Super. So as of recording this video, we have 8 episodes remaining before the series is over. It'll be ending on episode 131, which is a weird number to end it on. But we're just going to kind of talk about what that means, you know. Everyone's saying it's ending indefinitely. You got other people saying it's going on a hiatus. We really don't have enough information to really say which one it is. It's looking more like it's going to end, though. So maybe they'll do something with the series where episodes 130 and 131, the Tournament of Power, will already be wrapped up, and they'll use those last 2 episodes to kind of lead this into the end of Z. But basically what's going to happen is March 25th will be the final episode, and then Toei and all their animators and everything will be putting everything they can into this new movie, which is going to be a Saiyan-based movie about the origin of the Saiyans. We don't know where exactly this movie is going to take place. It could be right after the Tournament of Power. It could be after the end of Z. We don't really know yet. It could be an origin story. It may not even have our original cast, but I highly doubt that. Because if you have a movie without Goku and the others, a theatrical movie, it's really probably not going to do as well as it would as if they were in it. But let's talk about what this means for the future of the franchise. So what a lot of people are speculating is that, the Tournament of Power will end. We'll get 1 or 2 episodes of kind of wrap up for the series, which is weird because I thought Dragon Ball Super was going to go for at least twice as long as it did. But at the same time, we are nearing that 10-year time skip where the end of Z happens, and I was actually talking with someone about this yesterday. It would be really weird, like, let's say you had never watched Dragon Ball before. Let's say someone introduced you to the show, and you ask them, what should I watch first? The person's going to tell you, and let's assume that Dragon Ball Super went on for twice as long as it did. Let's say it went past the end of Z. You would have to tell them, watch all of Dragon Ball, watch Dragon Ball Z up to episode, I believe it's like 291 or 290. Then go watch Dragon Ball Super up to episode 131. Then watch the final 2 episodes of Dragon Ball Z. And then watch the rest of Dragon Ball Super. So it would be a really weird kind of, jumping around of what you should watch. So I think this is kind of good in a way. If they're doing it like this. If this is what their plan is. If they're planning on doing a new series after the movie. So that way you would watch up to episode 131. You could see the end of Z. And then you would have a series after that. So we're probably going to get something that's going to be a brand new series after the end of Z. Obviously, that will completely write over GT. I mean, GT wasn't canon anyway, but whatever series comes out will just completely write over it completely. Just think of GT as like an alternate universe of where things happened after the end of Z. It's not the same timeline of regular Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super. But yeah, I don't know what they're exactly going to do, because honestly, with 8 episodes left, that's a lot they have to wrap up. You gotta think, we've got 5 fighters from Universe 7 still in the tournament. Universe 11 still has 3 fighters, and there's still 7 minutes left in the Tournament of Power. So even if you made every episode a minute, that would make it end on episode 130, and then 131 would have to be the end. So they would have to rush the end, reviving all the universes, which I'm sure is going to happen. I'm sure we all know that's going to happen. Regardless of who wins, everyone's going to come back. And then have the final, at the end of a tournament like this where the world was at stake, or the universe, they're probably going to go back to Bulma's and have their, big dinner or whatever, and then somehow also lead that to the end of Z. So that's a lot they have to do. So I feel like 1 or 2 of these episodes is probably going to be rushed a little bit. It'll probably be like a 2-minute episode. So that way, by 128 or 129, the tournament can be over, and then they can use those last 2 or 3 episodes to basically set up the end of the series. Which is really weird, because it's like, even for me right now, like, it still doesn't feel like it's real, because, you know, if when the Tournament of Power arc had been announced, like, a year ago, last December, when we first got that promotional picture of the 10 fighters. If back then they said this will be the most epic but final arc of Dragon Ball Super, you know, now we would kind of be more prepared for it. It'd be a lot more exciting. But the fact that we're getting towards the end and then they drop this bombshell, it's kind of like, is this really happening right now? Like, we have 8 episodes left. We still got Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, 17, and Frieza. That's another thing. The whole Frieza story arc. You know, we all assumed that this was going to turn into something big, like Frieza might secretly get his wish and it could turn into a bigger arc. Or we always had that thought like, oh, what if the angels are evil and have a rebellion and then we have to deal with that arc? But no, it seems like it's going to be one of 2 things. Either Frieza's going to just get mollywopped and knocked out of the arena, and then he might throw a hissy fit like Frost did and the Omni Kings would just erase him. Or, well, he's going to lose regard, or he does still lose, and then he just accepts his fate and realizes Goku will still revive him because he did help with, you know, protecting the universe. So he'll just sit there on the sidelines, wait for the end of the tournament, get revived, and then we'll see as Frieza, you know, leaves Earth and goes off on his own. Or there's a third option. Since he's already been revived with the Earth Dragon Balls before, they could totally do a comical thing where they get back to Earth with Frieza. Frieza says, alright, it's time for you to revive me, keep your promise. Goku gathers the Dragon Balls, tries to make the wish, and then the dragon's like, I can't, he's already been revived with Earth's Dragon Balls before. And then Goku's like, oh, well, sorry. And then Frieza's 24-hour time thing runs out, and he goes back to hell. I could totally see them doing that. Although I would like them to kind of leave it open. I would like if Frieza does get revived, whether it's by the Namekian Dragon Balls or whatever, the Super Dragon Balls, like, whatever brings him back to life, and then just have him go to his own separate corner of the universe to kind of have him be like an anti-hero type thing. Like, he's still a villain, he's still ruining people's lives in the universe, but if there's ever a threat that comes to their universe again, Goku can kind of be like, hey, we're going to need your help again. But yeah, just this whole thing about Dragon Ball Super ending just feels super surreal. So they're going to have to patch up this whole thing with the end of Z, obviously. I don't think we're going to see a recap of the end of Z in Super. I think we might see, like, right before they're going to head to the tournament. Maybe we'll see, like, right up to when Goku takes Goten out to go train before the tournament. Or they may not even do that. We honestly may just get, like, a final, like, feast thing at Bulma's right after the tournament, and it may just end right there. Because we don't know what they have planned for Super in the future. They may try to continue right after the Tournament of Power with a new series, or just, like I said before, it may just be, like, right after the end of Z. You know, we may start the first episode of this new series with Goku training Oob. And then maybe Vegeta goes to planet Sadala if Universe 6 is revived. Or, who knows, maybe Gohan, Krillin, and Piccolo decide to go train with Whis and Beerus. Like, honestly, there's so many different things they could do. And also, they set up this entire multiverse. We've got 12 universes. We got introduced to all the Gods of Destructions, all the Angels, all the Supreme Kais. We got introduced to warriors from 8 of these universes. They set up this entire expansive universe to make lore from and make a series from, and they're just going to stop it right here. I highly doubt this is where everything's going to end. I'm sure we will get future series, whether it's like, maybe we'll get like a set of movies or a new TV show of Dragon Ball Super past the end of Z where we actually explore these different universes. But the one thing I will say that they're going to have to do, because I like what they did with this tournament, because they kept the main cast at least semi-relevant. You know, Krillin, Tien, Piccolo, those characters. They're going to have to, either they're just going to totally ignore the whole age factor, Or they're going to have to find a way to kind of de-age these characters. Maybe they'll be in some kind of situation where, what if they go into a certain part of space and there's an explosion that affects their bodies or something? I'm just spitballing a random idea. And it actually makes them go 20 years younger. So they're back to the age they were at the, like, beginning of Z. Or, like the Cell games, like, era. Maybe they go back to being that age. Because other than, like, Goku, Vegeta, and Gohan, the other cast members are just going to keep aging. Unless they decide to pull a GT and just completely forget about the supporting cast and just focus on the Saiyans. But I really don't think they'll do that because I think they learned their mistake with GT. You know, some people like GT. My major issue with it was that the supporting cast wasn't even there anymore. The new supporting cast that was apparently Pan, Goten, and Trunks, and Gohan sometimes, really didn't do anything. It was mainly just Goku, Vegeta, and Majub. It'll be interesting to see how they write Oob if they do go past the end of Z. Like, how will he attain his own power? Are they gonna... I doubt they'll go the Majub route again, because there's really no purpose for it. But it'll be interesting to see how they kind of match, because obviously with the canon now, Goku is god level, and the fact that Oob is able to fight him is insane, because he's just a reincarnation of Kid Buu. At this point, Piccolo could even fight, like, Kid Buu from back in the Buu saga. At least I feel like he probably could. Gohan could definitely beat him. So it'll just be interesting to see how they write that story. But other than that, guys, that's pretty much all I've got about these, I was going to say spoilers, but it's not really a spoiler about anything. We just know we got 8 episodes left of Dragon Ball Super. It'll be interesting to see how everything wraps up. Post your comments down below. Let me know what you think about all of this. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. I'll see you all next time.